Alright, let's look at Jarvan this season and how we can destroy the living hell out of the enemy jungler, make them absolutely miserable. That's what we like to do, right? Yes, it is. Also, though, Jarvan is, he was a little weaker to start the split, but, when you got ganking and farming and fighting as it's a trifecta of things a jungler wants to do, and they're all pretty equally strong, this champion tends to do very well. Nice flag and drag with the E pullover, kind of like that one, a little bit feisty, don't often see that actually. Nocturne streamlining on the bottom side. We have Cho'Gath in the top lane against Anar, Hui, Da Vinci against the, Michelangelo more so against the Anivia, and obviously Galio. I almost said that with a straight face. We have a Galio support. The champion's always good in basically any position, but most of us, of the old heads, we remember Galio support when it was a thing before they removed the flash interaction. That was a good day for most of us in bot lane. Now, we are doing the red quadrant here. As always, keep an eye on, can I gank this? Can I gank this? Shove-in is perfect, so we're not going to gank that one. Can I cut down here and gank this? Always think like that, even if it's not necessarily what you want to do, because what that will incentivize when you're playing the Jarvans, when you're playing the Xinqiaos, the Lee Sins, Rek'Sais, is it gives you sort of this progression, right? Where you just make it a habit of looking, can I 3-camp gank in any capacity? If you can, do so, right? Don't avoid it. See the main channel video that I just put out today. Viego, same thing. Like, he was just full clearing down. Noticed bot lane was hard shoved. Sounds were burned. Might as well get the gank off, right? Especially considering now, when feats of strength goes from first blood to first 3 kills, you're going to want to have the option of at least trying to get it, as I said. And I will maintain it's not the end of the world if you don't get it, but if it is something you can get, why wouldn't you, right? It's just like a small advantage I can accrue, and it's good for the mental of your team. You got to think about that as a jungler. You are the shot caller, the captain, and the leader. Now, bot lane has done some good work here with a little bit of a first blood themselves. Galio is in on the Lux, who is roaming to get vision. Jarvan does the flash EQ, and a nice little snipe from the Kai'Sa. Perfect. Horrific awareness there from the blue team. The Nocturne was pinging this. Everyone saw this. But that's the whole point of just going for things a lot of the time. I think junglers get caught up sometimes. Oh, they're gonna see me. What else are you going to do? You absolutely must head to Virkayu.gg. Not only do I have a free jungle improvement resource, I also have a dedicated program with jungle video courses, jungle coaching classes, a jungle VOD library. Courses will be prepped for Season 15 as soon as the changes are stable. All the fundamentals you need for right now are available in a ridiculous amount of hours for content tailored for your MMR so you can climb to reach your peak rank. As we saw from all of those people hitting their peak dreams in Season 14 as fast as possible. So to hit your peak rank in Season 15 and jungle diff every game you play, head to the link in the description below or to Virkayu.gg. Your Grump isn't gonna, your Krugs are only gonna be up at 420. The Nocturne's done a full clear top side. You're down here by yourself. You got 20 seconds to invest. Might as well play off of the Galio and try to make something happen with Chain CC, because she can't do anything about it with no flash. Nice. Now, before you go in the second sequence here, always eyes up, look top lane. Hey, can I do anything? Is this gankable? No? All right, then I can just sit around and wait for the Krugs. 415 actually, because he pulled those out there. So that's a very soon red into Krug respawn. That is not something you typically see. This ward here, you want to make sure is pretty tight there from the red team. And it probably could be a little bit higher, but I think we're okay just to be safe from the Nocturne gank. Whoa, the flash for a flash there. And now there's a Nocturne. There, you see what I'm saying? He came around the top, but there's a Nocturne. We will respace. He's forced to do that. Now you look at the clock. So 4:45. When it's 4:45, not a lot we can do, but in theory, if you were to basically make your way over here, look for a little mid lane gank, you could get some nice counter jungling done, and the Nocturne's going to force with this pry out the dragon. And this is kind of what I'm alluding to here. Do you, A, want to just counter jungle this respawn top side, but again, a long time until these camps are up. As I said, basically, you can move on over it. It's not very efficient use of time. Ideally, we want to full clear down and then contest this. If they're going to start it up and we're pretty far ahead, we're 5, he's 4, for sure we can do this. Galio's low, it's warded, he's scanning. The Quay is prime mid lane. There again is the EQ onto the Nocturne. This is a silly, silly play. There's the egg and the flash burned. So really dumb dragon by the Nocturne. And this is how, there's the EQ. Oh, that's what I was waiting for. One more though, we'll get it. We'll get it. Quay! Okay, good, we got it. Now, how you destroy an enemy jungler? typically, a lot of you are thinking, well, you get in his face and you spit in it, and then you beat him with your spear. No. Sometimes it's merely being better in every aspect that is being better as a jungler. And as soon as he makes a dumb rotation, well, this is a fine rotation, but it does compromise the sequencing. As soon as he does that, and you extrapolate, okay, where's he going next? You cut him off and you kill him, because that's what you do. If you give bad junglers this free dragon because you decided to sequence a base, or if you decided to go and counter jungle here like this and wait around for those camps, that's fine, right? You can make that trade, but then you've got to be able to get in his face later on, and you've got to be able to kill top lane, snowball mid lane, because you're giving a dragon away for free. Not what we want to do. That gives us the bonus experience on the grubs. What is Nocturne doing? See, this is how you destroy junglers. I'm sure you guys have all been in games lately, or at least recently, where you kind of go for these grub contests, these dragon contests, or you think, all right, you know, Nocturne's going to be sequencing, Nocturne's going to have a dragon, Nocturne's going to have grubs. And then they don't go and do the obvious thing. You're like, oh, what are they doing? And that's when you punish them, right? So whenever you see a jungler and the question arises in your mind, wait, what the hell is he doing? That's when you beat on them. That's when you realize, okay, I'm a better jungler. I know more, I can do more. And it's actually about doing something about it. A lot of the times in coaching as well, in the private Discord, people say, like, look at this, look at my stats, but we lost. Okay, did you sufficiently destroy the enemy jungler? No, he was making mistakes. And that's when you want to really destroy them. So the Nocturne now, because he's compromised, right, and forced out of basically anything, the JARVAN here has a huge experience advantage. He knows this. He also knows that the Nocturne's going to be forced to be on the bottom side quadrant. So we can sequence this here. We do have a decent amount of gold, but nothing worth going back to base for just yet. This guy's going to sag off himself. We know that the Nocturne now is strapped. Can he cut in and steal this? Can he counter jungle this? Sure, but these are really high-risk plays. He's not going to do that. Kai'Sa's going to be joining back down to the bottom lane. Hwei is over here with Anivia shoving up. Her passive is still not up. How long until it's up again? 95 seconds. Wow. She moves down, we extrapolate this. We know the Nocturne has this quadrant as a farm. We know the Nocturne could counter jungle us. Not going to, but could. We know we could also go back to the dragon. And this is what I'm talking about. Instead of rushing over to the side and be like, no, you take your camps on the top side, you enjoy that experience, you let him think he's getting away with it, much like, you know, teenager kind of stuff, and then you eviscerate him afterwards. So let's see what we're doing. Hello? Is he on the dragon? No, he's not on the dragon. That's it, right? So there's the cut. You see the Anivia go down, you're like, well, I know he's down here, but if he's on it, we'll just kill him. Oh, he's not on it. Okay, interesting. Now, Nocturne will be 6. Now you keep your eyes open, okay? Is he going to ult here? Ult here? Is he going to go back to base on the top lane? I don't know yet. Keep your eyes on the map, and that's it. That's all you know. And this is all part of that process, because the Nocturne, if he's now being a bit more resilient, as we see him down here now, he knows, okay, I have to give that up. Okay, so from JARVAN's perspective, what does that mean for us? Okay, he has ult up. He hasn't yet used it. He's going to go to the top side of the map. We're looking now for second grubs. We stole 1 grub, so they... Oh, actually, we got all 3, so we have 2 objectives as well. But even if you didn't get the first grub hit there, the fact that you stole 1 away, aces, exactly what we want to do. Now we do have some gold we want to spend. We know Nocturne's going to the top side. So this is where things get interesting, because Nocturne could reverse field. He could say, look, JARVAN thinks I'm going top side. I'm going to go bottom side and ult the bottom lane. That is a possibility. We don't know yet. I'm not going to hover the map yet. We don't know. But JARVAN will presuppose he's going to be top side. And now, of course, we can go and gank, or we can go back to base. I think a base here is kind of warranted, but we watched the way the Lux and the Caitlyn are positioning. So now we're thinking maybe Nocturne is going to float on down here. Doesn't look like he is at this particular stage. So we're going to go ahead and make this aggressive gank. Because we F-keyed and look down here, we got the Dunkathon. Beautiful. There we go. Now Nocturne hasn't ulted yet, which means he's not up here, so indirect evidence says he's top side. What do we have spawning on the top side? Krugs. Do we want to defend those? Do we want to push terror plates? Big question mark. And all I'm really rinsing through here is the progressions of my thought process, right? In-game. What you're thinking about in-game, what you're potentially giving up with every play you make. See? Boom. And again, I haven't seen this game. I don't know anything about this game at all. There's the ult. I don't know what happens. I get someone to find me the replay. I have a parameter set that he has to go by to find the replay, and then I go in blind every single time because it's more fun that way. And this was a cool call because you kind of know, all right, if I'm down there as JARVAN, I'm making that decision of A or B. And of course, Nocturne now gets away with this, but I'm not really stressed about that. We should know that's gone, but we're just, checking, making sure. We have the grubs coming up shortly. We know Nocturne's going to go back to his top side. And then Nocturne can loop back around here, or he can carry on sequencing. And here is where you're thinking, but he's not really destroying the Nocturne, isn't he? Because if I were in this game, as even a Zyra right now, and Nocturne counters the hell out of Zyra, I'd be like, well, this is such a free win. I don't care about the KDA. It is better. I don't care about the farm. It is better. I do care about the objectives. That is better too. It's about where is the Nocturne going. And again, look here. Look at this again. Look at this again. The cut across mid lane. Such an important concept in Season 15. We looked at this in every single... There it is. Let's just set this up properly. Grubs to Dragon, Dragon to Grubs. Being able to cut across here is the most important element of control in destroying an enemy jungle. Because Nocturne again now is going to know that you're up there. He's now going to try and counter jungle again. So you're letting him have a few camps, but it's more like you're letting him think he's getting away with something, right? So we cut across directly. We see this going on. The Hui kills the Lux anyway. Nocturne's not taking a turret shot. Oh boy. Oh boy. You're all dead. This cut across here, either for objectives or for rotating, is so important because you got to understand when to do it. A lot of junglers will go back to base. A lot of junglers would just look and hover top lane. Yes, you can do these plays, but when you're trying to destroy an enemy jungler, you let them think you let them think they're getting away with something, and then you punish them for it. That's typically how it works. Obviously, yes, you can run into their face in their jungle and kill them multiple times. You know, if that's the way you want to do things, you can do that as well. Oh, look. Cutting across again. Why? Because our camps are under our control. Well, kind of under our control. They're under control in that they're not up. We have Q-Poke. We know we have time. We know we have Eclipse itemization. We know that there's a Scuttle Crab. We can just... Oh! Yeah, I was going to say, we know that he's going to show up, but it's more like, can we win the fight? Close, but doesn't matter. Our team should win. There's a Galley ultimate. Wish it could have been us, but it's fine. Boom, clean up. And this is when you're in solo queue and you're like, good job, team. I'm happy with that. Don't really want to die, but, you know, you're forcing it. You know Nocturne's going to come up here. It doesn't really matter. It's a desperation play and he dies anyway, so we win. Our camps will now respawn thusly and righteously. Nar TP's over here. There's the Lux roam. Keep your eyes on this. Should I rotate to this? Rotate or no rotate? That's a decision in Season 15, as you saw from Hecarim. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. If you see this kind of fight where you can win it, win it. Otherwise, just be there to guide back. Nocturne at this stage could show up here. He could also just go back down to the Dragon. There's a few things he could do, so you're just here to help your Hui. That's great. And now, of course, we're going to go and do our Raptors. You can kite up here and hold this if you think this is doom and gloom, or you're just basically sacrificing it. He's just farming anyway. He's not even thinking about it, and that's... Again, another thing to think about to destroy enemy junglers is you make them have too many options, and then they don't know what to do. You either make them have one option that's really easy to read and you cut them off and kill them for it, or you give them many options and they have no idea which one to go for because they're being destroyed. Jungle is interesting, because this is not... I've made videos like this before about, you know, destroy the enemy jungler, kill them, remove them from the game. They're different. There's many ways to do this. This is one of my preferred ways to do this. I like this way because it has a nice amount of sequencing, counter jungling, objective control, rotation, straight up ganks, demoralizing ultimates like this one. Nivea is a champion that's kind of tough, nice EQ through the double combo. The two champions rather, the egg will have proc there so we can just go back to the Dragon. You see you're forcing the Nocturne into suboptimal decisions. He doesn't really know where to go. You're just cutting him off because you know where he is going. That's why even earlier when the Nocturne, we didn't cut him off, I was tracking him, right? I was telling you, he's going here, he could do this. And you're just keeping that in your mind the whole time. And when it's time to cut across and just kill him, when it's time to cut across and kill him here again, when it's time to force a fight and kill him again, that's when you really, right? So huge. Gold amount now, 1135. We have 6.8, he has 5,000. It's not the worst gold deficit from the Nocturne's perspective that I've seen, but, you know, really removed from the game entirely. And from his own mistakes, for sure, but the amount of times I've seen a jungler make mistakes and the other jungler just doesn't notice. So many times. So many times. Like, what could I have done? Well, 14 things, because this Nocturne was playing badly. Very badly. Had this last night, too, in the private jungle Discord with in the community night. Someone was streaming some Warwick, Platinum Emerald. And he, fresh off of some coaching and some VOD review, was running around the map on time for grubs, on time for dragon, on time for counter jungling, and he would keep seeing like this Nocturne, the enemy jungler, just be in random places. Like, why is he there? And I'm like, exactly. Exactly. When you ask this question and you understand why he shouldn't be there, you understand where he should be. Whew, the power you have. PvP, map control, objective control, and win condition. It's just a trifecta of goodness and LP gains. Love it. I love seeing people play like that. It's just, you know what I mean? Maybe not, but there you go. And Nocturne's out of position. Don't overchase. There's the ultimate. Darkness. He goes back in. We're like, oh man, I can't see the turret. Need that turret damage. Let's go. Quake kills the Nocturne anyway. There's the EQ. Okay, don't be too ambitious here. You gotta track back timers. There's a taunt from the Galio. Nar doesn't have Mega and know when you're close. No flash order there. Remember, you got the armor shred on his Q. Just in case you didn't know. 26 armor removal, rather, at this stage. Hugely important ability, because not only is that for him, it's for everybody that is attacking the target. And your E gives you free assists, basically. So, a lot of Jarvan's, you know, kill participation can be influenced by the flag. But in this particular case, I think he's earned all of his kill participation. Now, yes, we've gotten the 2 boring items. Next week, we'll have some more dynamic champions. I apologize. I can't help that in a meta like this, fighters are good. Fighters are always good. They're the most dominant class in the jungle, and Riot Games refuse to do anything about their items, or runes. So we're stuck with, you know, things like Conquerors and Booties and Cosmic Insight, and apparently that's fine for Riot Games. Gotta remove Eyeball, but these are fine. Yeah, it's very odd to me. Very odd to me. Don't get it. Not that it's not just subjective that I've always run Eyeball Ultimate Hunter on most of my champions and love that kind of alternative tech, as it were, but, you know, it's still weird, right? I know Kha'Zix mains and Evelyn mains. I know you understand. I know she's getting buffed too, but still. Right. Whoa! EQ plant combo was kind of rooted and stuck in space and time here, but we're so far ahead, we're just going to go for the dunk. There's a flash from Caitlyn. Now we're ignited. We miss a Q. Oh my goodness, auto attack is the kill. And then we have the Eclipse shield coming through. Nocturne might be able to kill us there, but we are actually able to EQ out. So I apologize profusely for not being familiar with your game. And unfortunately for you, you are an abomination. Onto the Herald. Well, that was a wild trip, and that's why these items are so good. 800 healing done. Can you see that? No. But 800. 1722 damage blocked on the Eclipse. Match history will be in the description below. And an Armor's Advanced shield here, also on these upgraded boots. 181 damage blocked. Here's the thing. You are being told by myself that these boots are useless, by many people that you should never buy them. I've never said they're useless. Just basically said they're not going to automatically win you games, because the gold you spend is the gold you have. It doesn't really matter what you spend it on. It's about the efficient itemization of your champion. And in this particular case, 2 items plus extra shield equals I'm winning. And I had 750 to spend, so might as well spend it, because I'm going to go and snowball the game to win. I want to play around the Atacan. I want to play around the next dragon. I need to maximize my buy for my current trip on the field, and sitting on 800 gold because I don't want to buy the boots, that'd be dumb. Upgrade the boots, look at what it does. Stats, it's huge, and of course more movement speed as well, and more armor. Oh, Nocturne tries to fly in here. It's an early smite, which means he loses it. That ain't worth the steal at all, son. What you do here is you just control your camps, push out waves, you give up the Atacan, you try and get some turret bounty back in your favor. Just don't do what the Nocturne that did there in these kinds of games, please. Just don't, it's not worth it. You don't want to give up Ruinous and plus 25%. I know people feel it's useless, but it's not. The small advantages add up. You give them tier 2 boots, okay, not that much. You give them tier 3 boots, okay, not that much. You give them Ruinous Atacan, 25%, not that much. You give them all these plants and Adaptive Force, which is now at plus 27, not that much. How much not that muches do you add together before it becomes much? Which is an argument I would put to all the people complaining about these little things. It's like, you can't tell me that all of that added up means nothing. It does, means a lot. Snowball, baby! However, you still have to close, because regular macro is still a thing. We're just waiting now for the 25-minute Barons. So, normally, at this stage, we have 16 to 20 minutes quiet phase while we wait for the Baron to spawn. That's what we're used to. Now that is a 21-minute to 25-minute period, right? There's no objectives, thank God, for the next 4 minutes. Bless Riot Games for not forcing another objective in this small little gap of time. So now you can farm and sequence your camps, catch waves, push waves up, prime yourself in the jungle for picks. All the usual stuff that we would do before. Nocturne says he wants a frozen heart before the next fight. Obviously here you're trusting that your team doesn't fight too much. The fact that it's a hex deck map does help us. You can take Raptors on your way. Watch this one. We want to get involved here. You could have also taken that elevator across the map. There's Nocturne showing. Darkness is provided. We lose our support. What a noob, because he goes in too aggressively. This is what I was saying with the Jarvan. There is that risk. Interesting, actually. Very interesting. He chose to go to the left there onto the Caitlyn, make sure that ADC's down. Trust the backline will be taken care of by the Kai'Sa to a certain degree. But here's a great example, ladies and gentlemen. When the Jarvan based there for his Frozen Heart, he was basically trusting his team not to fight, not to be picked, not to get impatient. They didn't. They died. And now it's just him and Cho'Gath. That's fine if you 1v9, but it does cost you to a certain degree. We do have the Herald to use. What's crazy is you can have a 27-minute Herald right now. Think about that. You can take the Herald and use it at like 27, 28 minutes. That's nutty in my brain because of just 10 years of Herald not doing that. And now, of course, everyone's dead here, so we're going to try and get this macro pressure here ourselves. This is normal stuff. Don't really need to force the inhib here. You could. But we still got a few minutes until Baron, so I don't really want to give 2 minutes of supers without any follow-up, without any objective to use in the meantime. We're just waiting for our team at this point. So keep your vision up. Try not to get picked off here. Wait for the Kai'Sa, wait for the Quay. Cho'Gath does have teleport, so now we can actually think about fighting. Here's the teleport. There's a taunt by the Galio. Perfect patience by the Nocturne there. By the Jarvan, rather, not the Nocturne. Nocturne has something other than patience, I think. But now we're in the back line. Thank you so much. Nice disruption there. Huge. I mean, this is just textbook. 1v9. Not textbook macro. 99% textbook macro. Just his champion is just so funny sometimes. That's just his auto attacks. Yeah, so when you base here, as I said, you're trusting this. In your low elo games, they're all dead. You see how the Nocturne, the Jarvan shows up to change the nature of that fight. Then he goes down here with a macro push play, right? How many of you, after this fight here, will go back and do these camps and wait for your team? Not him. He's got Herald. Use Herald. Punch it. Don't take the inhib because you don't want to give him 2 minutes of free juice until Baron. Falls back. Doesn't fight. Doesn't pick. Doesn't do dumb shit. Waits for his team. Turns. Aces. And ends. Beautiful. Excellent. Lovely. And the Nocturne, by the way, 086. 7,700 gold. And the Jarvan 13,000. So well and truly destroyed.